Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. It's time for our next Saturday with Stacy, YouTube class number 414. And wow, really, that's what it is. Wow, I have got a technique-based class. Technique, with a little, well, not a little bit, with a whole lot of Sizzix thrown in, but Sizzix at a flash sale price. Oh my goodness gracious. I only have two dies and 2 pads of paper. That's this whole YouTube. It's 2 dies and 2 pads of paper. But the technique, it's all about the technique and the pricing on those 2 dies. They should retail for $59.99. They should. For the 2 of them. So they were $29.99 each. So what is that, $59.98? Nowhere near that price. Nowhere near that price. And wait till you see what we do with them. Oh, wait till you see what we do with them. We're gonna twist them up a little bit. We're gonna take one of them and use them for something it's not supposed to be, it was not intended for. But we're gonna make it even more valuable. I mean, at the price we have it at, it's already, you can't pass it up. But we're gonna take it and make it even more valuable to you when you see how we change things up just a little bit. We're gonna Stacyfy the die. Stacyfy, that's right, Stacyfy. Now, I'm supposed to have winner chicken dinner for you today. I don't. The software, we had technology problems. It happens. That means next week I'll have 4 winners for you. And 2 from last week and 2 from this week. So if you want a chance to be a winner chicken dinner, don't forget you have to subscribe. There's a little heart over there with SMS in it. Once you subscribe, you can post a comment below. Something nice, kind, generic. I will approve it. And once it's approved, you go into the running to be a winner chicken dinner and receive a $25 gift card from Scrapbooking Made Simple to spend on anything that makes your heart happy. Remember, live chat. So if you are live chatting with me during the premiere of this Saturday with Stacy class, that would be at 8 a.m. sunny California time, 11 a.m. in New York, or about 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom. Live chat comments do not count. You have to post a comment below, and the only way to post a comment is to be a subscriber. And the emergency exits, you may look behind you because the closest emergency exit may be behind you. So I always feel like that when okay, this way and that way and over there. So I cannot wait to show you what we have for you today and how we are going to utilize it at prices that just will make your heart sing, honestly. Now, what else do I have to tell you about? How about Tim Holtz? Okay, so Tim Holtz Christmas launch from Sizzix happens today. Not just with me, like around the world globally. Tim Holtz launches today at 9:15 sunny California time. That means he launches right in the middle of my class. So we may be live chatting over here, and about 9:15, I'm gonna excuse myself for a few moments. I'm gonna head on over to our website, and I'm going to I'm gonna load all of that Tim Holtz product for you, that Christmas launch from Sizzix. It's stunning. I don't have 1 bundle for you, or 2 or 3 or 4. I have 5 different Tim Holtz bundles for you. And if you were to get all 5 of them, well, you would end up with everything from the collection. But we've kind of portioned the product out into individual bundles and then added items to it, value add items to make it even worth more, and then put those bundles on sale. Tim Holtz Brand New Christmas on sale launch day. You heard me right. We're the only ones who have these exclusive bundles from Sizzix. Holy smokes, artichokes. And there is a YouTube that tells you all about how you get your order expedited to ship on the following Friday, what you need to do, what you can't do, like have anything else from other categories in that order, or do a pay later order. Or if you're wanting to do a pay later order because you want to incorporate some items from this YouTube, but you want some of the Tim YouTube, absolutely do a pay later order, but we just can't expedite the shipping. go look at that YouTube. It's very short for me. It's like under 7 minutes. I can barely get my name out in 7 minutes, let's be clear. But it will tell you all you need to know about how to get your order expedited if you would like it expedited. And if you don't, that's okay. You do you, not a problem. And it'll tell you why we're able to expedite these orders. And that's only because we have the support of Sizzix and Ellison. Ellison is the parent company of Sizzix, and we have Ellison Elves. They've pre-bundled everything for us, so all we have to do is slap a label on it and ship it on out to you. Gosh, if I could only have them all year round. Hint, hint, Victorious Victor and Sizzix Sarah, hint, hint. Send me some Ellison Elves, please. Okay, so what else do I have for you today? Oh, the warehouse sale. Let's do the warehouse sale and talk about that. Where are we with the warehouse sale from last year? Now, if you're not part of the warehouse sale, if you did not get a $26 memory box die for $1.99 or an $8 spellbinder embellishment for 25 cents, this doesn't apply to you. It only applies to those that took advantage of the warehouse sale last year. We are up to the last few days. We're almost done. So all of the pay later PayPal payments have been sent. If you chose pay later at checkout, we have invoiced all orders, all of them for the entire sale. So if you have not paid for your order yet and you know who you are, all you have to do is give us a call at the shop and we'll be happy to take payment over the phone, or you should have a PayPal invoice in your inbox. Go ahead and pay it, and we're getting orders out just as quickly as we can. We're on the 29th and the sale ended on the 31st, so we are seriously counting down to being done. Now, is there going to be another warehouse sale this year? I hope so. I'm planning on it, but I was planning on doing it in August, and then August got pushed to September, and now September is looking more like late October. We have everything ready to go for it, except for loading all of the product, and of course that takes man hours, and well, we're people down, so we're doing the best we can. And as soon as I know the date of our next warehouse sale, I will tell you, I know the product's already in the warehouse sale. They've already been negotiated. The next warehouse sale will be better than the last warehouse sale, hands down. Amazing, amazing stuff, amazing. So hang tight, and we will let you know when the next warehouse sale is going to be. And again, if you have a pay later and haven't paid for it from last warehouse sale, whether it be day one or the very last day, all invoices have been sent. If you could just take care of that payment. I can't send it to you until you send me payment. You pay me, I send you your product. It's a wahoo kachoo for everybody. Michael, Mr. SMS, was working while I was setting this up today, and he's doing the QC for the hop orders. And he had one order that was 8 boxes long. It was 462 individual items. 462 times. The total retail of the order came to a little over $1,200, and they spent a little under $200 to get it. Plus $8.95 shipping. $8.95 shipping. It was over $1,200, and the total of her order was just a little bit under $200. It was a hair over $200 when you added the $8.95 shipping. So that's the type of values we're talking about, which is kind of like today's flash sale pricing, because it is wahoo kachoo. Now, I did the warehouse sale. I told you I don't have winter chicken dinner for you. I talked about Tim Holtz. I think we might be ready to go. Are you ready to get started for today? Again, I have just 2 dies to show you and a couple paper pads that are new for us from Sizzix. But this is about technique. So if you are going to be ordering anything from this YouTube class, you are going to want to put the YouTube number in the notes. As you're checking out, there's a place to put notes in your order. And so you can put YouTube number, and that way, when we print your packing slip, that note prints on your packing slip. So when you get your order right there, you know which YouTube to refer back to. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacy. It's so good to see you. Don't forget, if you're watching this during the premiere, Tim Holtz in about, I don't know, an hour and 5 minutes, something like that. We'll have it loaded for you. Exclusive bundles, fabulous pricing, and then a flash sale from Sizzix for you today. All right, I'm going to move tilt on down. We're going to get started for today. Good to see everybody. Bye. Oh, wait. I'm back. For those of you who are local, our store is reopening on Monday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday only. We do not have the staff to carry weekends right now. So Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., our retail store will be open starting Monday. So just know that it's condensed, and the back room won't be open for a little bit longer, and we're still stocking the front of the store. But what you need to know is that every single SKU in that store, every single item in that store is brand new launches, brand new releases, brand new product. There is not a thing in there from before we closed. Everything is new. Oh my gosh. New manufacturers that you might not have ever seen before. It's phenomenal. So, starting Monday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, our retail store will be open. As soon as we can staff the weekends, I will reopen on the weekends and let you know. Okay. About time, right? I mean, it's only been, but you know what? Better safe than sorry. All right, I'm going to tilt on down. Bye, everybody. Okay, and then let me zoom on in. I feel like this is a little crooked. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Are you gonna zoom? There we go. And then let's tilt on down a little bit more and zoom, zoom, zoom. And I think that's pretty good. All right, so let me show you a couple samples, because the front of the card is darling. Super cute, right? But wait, look at the inside of the card. Look at that. This is what we're gonna learn to do today. Oh my gosh, is that so cute? Outside's darling, but then you pop it open and the word thanks just pops right on out. Then I have, look at you, and then you open it up. And look at how cute is that. Oh, I need to put my glasses on. I gotta be able to see what I'm doing. Oh, and it's just like amazing once you put your glasses on. Look at how cute is this. You make my heart smile. And look at that. We are gonna be working on this today. And I'm gonna show you the Sizzix dies that did both of these cards. And we're gonna start super simple. And then we're going to get much more in depth and much more technique-y. So let me put these over here to the side, and let me grab the two dies that we have for you today. Okay, so flash sale. Here's one of the die sets. In fact, you know what? Let me do these, because the cellophane is off. Here's one of the die sets. And it has every single letter of the alphabet, including a few little hearts for the O's and an ampersand and a question mark. Exclamation point would have been good, but it doesn't. Oh well. So every letter is on there so that you can make any word you want to pop. This die retails for $29.99, but not today. Then we're pairing it up with their envelope die. And yes, it does the envelopes, and they're super cute, and I've got a few samples on these, but that's not what we're going to be using this die for. Oh no. We're going to take this die and do something completely different with it. And this die retails for $29.99. So $59.98 for the two of them. Flash sale price at Scrapbooking Made Simple, $19.99 for both. $19.99 for both. Can you just buy this one? Yes, 10 bucks. Can you just buy this one? Yes, 10 bucks. $19.99 for the two of them. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have more of this one than I do of this one, and that if I were making a purchase, I would buy the $19.99 bundle and then an extra set of letters. Why an extra set of letters? Because when you're doing a word that has two E's or two R's or two S's, you won't have to roll it through twice. You'll have two of every letter. And for an extra 10 bucks, oh my gosh, really amazing value. So this is where we're going to start today. And I think I'm actually going to start with the envelope dies. So, pretty easy to use. It's meant to be an envelope liner. I think I'm going to play with these two dies, which are meant to do envelope liners, just as shown. And that's nice, but don't we want to do something more with it? I think we do. So let me move that here, and I'm going to bring over my Sizzix paper. So I've got two new paper pads for you from Sizzix. We haven't had these before. I've never YouTubed them before, and know that every color in here is not duplicated in any other previous Sizzix paper collection that we've ever shown. So this is the botanical. It's not the eclectic, and the eclectic we did before, and the eclectic is getting ready to ship. This is botanical, and so the colors are just yummy. And you're not going to find these colors in the eclectic set or in the regular cardstock set or in the naturals. Not in the festive cardstock. These colors are completely different. It is an 80-pound weight cardstock that has a linen texture on one side and a smooth on the other. So smooth versus a linen texture. To go with this, they paired it up and made a printed pad as well. So this is also a botanical. It's called the Botanicals, a pattern paper, and it is meant to coordinate with their botanical cardstock. So they match. All the colors are meant to match. What I like about the botanical printed printed paper is that it's double-sided. The colors absolutely match, and then you get several sheets that are foiled. Now the foiled sheets are, well, it's a double-sided too. Look at the sheets are foiled. Love the foil. Love the foil. So we're going to be playing with this today, and we have both of these on a YouTube Yummy. Just know that if you were worried about possibly ending up with colors that are the same, these colors are different from every other cardstock that we've had before. Here you've got 10 colors, and there's 6 of each sheet in there. So you've got a very nice variety. And I believe here you've got, is it done in 4s? So you've got 60 sheets. 60 sheets, and 1, 2, 3. So 3s of each, is that it? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, looks like 3 of each. So 20 different patterns, all double-sided, 3 of each. Okay, so I'm going to start with cardstock, I think, is where I'm going to start today. And let's bring over, what color do we want to play with? I know they're also pretty, but I really do like that front color. I think I'm going to take this color and start with this one just because it's so darn pretty. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've got the 2 dies from Sizzix, and these are meant to be envelope liners, and you can absolutely use them for that. I'm going to use them for something different today, and we're going to start with this because we're going to go full circle. It's going to come back around to this when we are all done. So I'm not going to use this as an envelope liner. I'm going to make a card out of this. Card, how do you make a card out of it? It is so easy to take any open frame die and make a card base from it. And you'll be able to make a card base any size that you want. Any width or height that you want. You're like, I don't get it. Let me show me, explain to me. Okay, so I think I'm going to do it. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll do it this way, just so we can play a little bit. So I've taken my paper, I've cut it in half. Now I need to fold it and score it. I do have my scoring over here, and I might use that a little bit later. But for now, I'm just going to score my paper. And I'm not going to worry that it's kind of off center. I'm not going to worry about that at all because it is wider than my die. So I know when I die cut, it's going to cut that off anyway. Now I want to make a card out of this. And how do I do that? Well, I want to make sure I get those scallopies on there. So there's my scallops. And because my fold line, my score line, is lower than my cut line on my die, see there's a cut line right there. Anywhere there's a ridge where you can feel it, it's going to cut the paper. So as long as my line, my score line, is below my cut line, it's not going to cut there. It's just going to cut all the way around it. Now I could make it smaller if I wanted a smaller little card, and I could do it there. It's up to me where I want to put it. And if I had longer paper, let's do it. Let's see. Well, I'll do another sheet of a different color so we have different colors. So let's say I score this one in half. Which is now bigger. And see how that fits right on there? If I keep this score line, if I keep this line, the cut line right where it is, which is below my score line on my paper, here's my score line, my paper's open, chomp, chomp, chomp right there. And I cut this, it's going to cut 2 pieces out. Let's do that real quick, just so you can see. I'm gonna bring over my Sizzix Big Shot machine. I've got my platform that it comes with. The new machines come with a base platform and a solo shim. The solo shim is needed when you're doing a wafer die like I'm doing. Then I'm going to put down a cut plate and my paper and my die. And remember, this time I'm going to pretend like I'm just cutting it normal. So I'm just putting it on there like I was just cutting away. Put on a do not cut plate. And let's send it on through. No, don't rotate on me. Well, you're still gonna wanna rotate. Okay, well, we're just gonna go and send it on through. So this is an open frame die. It is the easiest die to cut. It's not intricate at all. It doesn't require a precision base plate. You don't even have to go back and forth if you don't want to. And look at there. Cut my die, but it cut 2 of them. I didn't want 2 of them. I wanted a card. So let's grab that same color paper, or maybe we'll go with the red. Or maybe we'll go with a light green. Let's do it again. I'm putting my die down on my paper just to make sure that I don't cut my width too small. I'm just gonna cut it out. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight because you're gonna end up die cutting that. Now I'm gonna score it. I'm just gonna fold it in half. And score it. This time though, instead of putting my die right on it and cutting it just like we would normally cut, which ultimately got me 2 pieces, I'm gonna hold my die on top of my score line. Here's my score line to my card. Here's my card, chomp, 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 chomp. Now there's no way for that to cut because my paper is down here. Paper's got to be below it to cut it. But since my paper isn't below the cut line, isn't underneath, it can't cut. This is going to allow me to make a card base, and I can make it any width that I want, depending on where I put that score line. So let's make a big one. So I'm going to hold that score line just a little bit off, so it's a little bit below the top of my die. Let's bring my machine back on over. So we're not using this die to make envelope liners at all. Here is your envelope liner. Put it in your envelope. That way when they open it up, it's a pretty piece of paper on the inside. Absolutely. And we've got a couple samples to show you. But what if you could take that die and make so much more than envelope liners with it? Yeah. Roll it on through. It's an open frame die, easy peasy mac and cheesy. No precision base plate. You don't have to go forward and back. Now, when I take away the extra and I take the die off, instead of having 2 sheets of paper, I now have 1 card base. How cute is that, right? But you're like, I don't do square cards. I hear ya. I feel ya. What if we took an A2 card and you wanted to do it off paper? This is an A2 card base. Oh, that's very close. A little bit smaller. But I can already tell that if I put my die right about there, because that's right about where the A2 is. It's going to be a little smaller than an A2 because I have a little smaller piece of paper. It's going to cut that size. So let's roll that on through. Oh, I need to put my cut plate down. And let's send it on through. Now I've done one more of a typical card size versus more of a square card size. I could go smaller. I could make a little cute little table for a place setting. They're just darling. But what the die was intended to do was this, so that you could put it inside an envelope and make a liner out of it. And I didn't want to do that. I mean, it's fine, it's great, you can, but I wanted to make card bases out of them. Really easy and takes the die to a totally different level. And you have the small die as well. So you can do the same thing on a smaller scale. So I can cut my paper, and the length of the card will depend upon how much paper you have to score. So here I don't have as much in my length, so my card is going to be smaller. Here I have much more in length, so I can make my card bigger. It just depends upon how you want to cut your paper. Let's do it this way. And score it. And now I can have a big card. I can have a medium. I can have a super small, entirely up to me. Let's just send it on through. Isn't that so cute? So cute. Love them. So if you're running low on card bases, but you have dies like this, or you want to make your card base out of the color paper, a coordinating color paper, here you go. Easy to do, and it's got the cute little scallop right along the bottom of it. But this set gives you more than that. It gives you dies that will cut in. So this die here will cut little holes into my paper. So if I wanted little dots in my paper, put it down, sandwich, send it on through. So they've given you little detail elements in this set as well. And just like that, it's done. Oops. So now I put cute little holes in it. So then you could put a piece of paper underneath it, and those holes would come out even. Look, isn't that so cute? Or they've given you little hearts. And the little hearts can be utilized on, look, it fits the smallest one, but if you wanted to, you could put it here and then move it and do here, because there's no cut line. So let's do that real quick. Let's show you that there's no cut line. It's not big enough to do the entire front of the die, but, or maybe I'll do it with the holes. That way it's apples to apples. So this is a smaller die. It's got the little holes in it, just like the bigger one did. And I can use it on the small die or the big one. No, I moved it. Oh well, it's holes. It's not the end of the world if I move it right. Heck, I can put it wherever I want. It's just holes, and it's not going to cut the piece of paper out. Well, I'm going to go with it. It's going to be what it's going to be. So there's one. And there's my first set of little holes. And then all I have to do is move it. Just move it down. And I can cut it again. Let's go this way, and we'll wrap this right like that. And I can do it again. Holes aren't straight, but that's okay. You'll see. And send it on through. And just like that. I mean, it's an easy roll. So do I like it with the smaller holes? Do I like it with the bigger holes? Point is, you have options, and this isn't even what the die was meant to do. And like I said, there's the cute little heart shapes that they give you, and they give you words. So you also have words. You've got congrats, celebrate, hello, thank you, and happy birthday. They give you words. These words also cut in. And you're like, what do you mean? Well, let's just take a piece of paper and let's do it in, how about the coordinated, how about the green? Ooh, what if we grabbed a piece of pattern paper? Ooh, shall we do that? Ooh. Well, we've got the dots, so let's keep with the dot theme, shall we? Okay, let's go with the dot theme. I think I'm gonna go with the gray. So I'm going to cut a strip of this out, and this is the foiled, pre-foiled paper. So I've cut a strip that I can put across there. And I'm not going to trim this down yet. I'm going to cut my happy birthday. And then I'm going to center it and make sure that I'm good to go. So I'm going to cut my happy birthday real quick. Ooh. Options. Make sure my happy birthday is in there. Now the happy birthday is going to come out, but it's going to come out in little pieces. And you're absolutely able to paper piece those back together, but the die is meant to cut into the paper. Just like my little circles cut into the paper. I could certainly go get all of these little dots out of the die and use them for something else, but so here's my happy birthday. And you can see all the paper is in there, and I can poke that out and I can use that, absolutely. There's my Y and my A. So I can go back and take all of these pieces and spell out happy birthday, but really what the die is meant to do is to cut in. So now if I take that, and let's center that, and let's cut it just a little straighter. And center right there. And I'm gonna snip and snip. And then I think I'm going to take that darker green and I'm going to cut out a piece, same size. Actually, it can be smaller because it's going to tuck behind it. And again, not using the dies as they were intended. They were intended to make envelope liners. So now if I just tuck that behind there, now you can really see that happy birthday, right? So let's tape these down. A little bit of Stacy tape, which is a double-sided adhesive. Please note, all adhesives are not the same out there. So my tape is a little bit longer, it's a little bit stronger, and I think it's still a little bit more affordable than most of the other brands that we would recommend. And we would recommend Scorpal, or their tape is Sukwang, and it literally says across it Sukwang, Sukwang, Sukwang. Or Elizabeth Crafts makes a really good tape too. So now I've got that there, and I've got that there. Now I can center that and tape this down, and you would do a much better job of taping than I am. I'm just trying to get it down. So my tape is heat resistant, which means you can throw embossing powder on it and heat and it will not melt or warp. And kind of trim my edge down a little. Zoop. And trim my edge down a little. Zoop. And just quick and easy. I mean, I could put something else up top. It's really up to you what you want to do. You've got oodles and oodles of options here, but I took what was supposed to be an envelope liner and made a super cute card out of it, and I wanted to show you how those words work. You can absolutely pull all of the individual letters out and put them on sticky dots and then put them someplace, use them someplace else, but it's meant to cut in. Look at how cute is that? Envelope liner? Sure, but we can do so much more with this die, honestly, and you get so much with this die. So you've got the two sizes that do the dots. You've got one that does little hearts. You've got the happy birthday word. You've got the congrats. You've got the celebrate. You've got the thank you. You've got the hello. And you've got the two base dies that allow you to do two different cards or two different size envelope liners. All not for $29.99, all for $10, right? Much better use of this die. Well, I mean, envelope cards are cute, sure. I mean, making envelope liners are cute, but I think when you can utilize something for more than what its intended purpose was, it increases its value so much more. It just does. So we're going to come back to this die. We're not done with this die. I wanted to start with this die to give you kind of a feel for die cutting and why I paired this die up with the next set of dies. So I'm going to move this off to one side, move these over here, and then I'm going to start playing with the letter dies. So in this set is your alphabet, A through Z, with a few extra cuties, like the little heart for an O. You've got the little question mark and a little and sign. So these dies make a pop out, a dimensional pop out from your card base. Well, we actually have a layout done with them as well. And as much as I tried, I could not find any explanation on how to use these dies. We couldn't even find a picture of them. Oh my gosh. So I wanted to show you how to use these because for the price, At $29.99, I would really have to love what they do. I mean, I'd have to be wanting to make pop-out cards all the time. But at $9.99, at $10, or at $19.99 to get the two, okay, I see the value in that. I get it. Now, the dies are a little unique because they have, and in fact, I'm going to bring them over here. We've put them on a magnetic sheet just so they're easier to get on and off. But the dies are a little unique in the fact that they have lineup guides. So TUS. So there's a little notch in every die that you're supposed to use to line them up and keep them even. That little notch is there for you to use. But can you see they've also got this T has got a hat on it. And the S looks like it's hanging off a string, and the U looks like it's really a big U. But those are what allows the die to pop out yet and make that three-dimensional look without coming all the way out of the paper. There are score lines on each die, and there's score lines at the top of each die. So where there's heavier lines, that the ridges are much deeper, if you can even say deep. It's a chemically etched die, so they're not very thin or very tall. But where they're a little deeper, they're going to cut. And then when you can barely feel them, it's going to leave a score mark. All it's meant to do is put an impression into the paper. What am I talking about? All right, well, let's cut a few. And let's actually make a word, shall we? Let's see, what word do we want to make? How about wish? We like wish. W I S H. So I've got my WISH out, and they all fit together because of the little indents in them, and they all just kind of fit together. Now I want to cut this out as a word, so I need to flip it over because right now my ridges are facing me, and I want my ridges to be facing down. So on the back side, you can see there's the W. So W, I, S, H. And you should be able to read the word WISH. You should be able to read the word. If I had it WISH, my word is now backwards, and it's going to cut backwards. You always want to lay the dies with the cutting edge facing down so that you can spell out your word to be sure you're able to read it. Then I'm going to take some Sizzix maker's tape, little maker's tape. And it doesn't have to be super strong. That's why I'm using the maker's tape as opposed to a stronger washi tape. And I'm just going to tape my word together. And if it's not perfect, I mean, if there's a little extra space between the S and the H versus the I and the W, that's fine. I just want to put a little bit of tape down to hold all my letters together. There we go. There we go. Now I'm just going to, well, I think I will score a piece of paper. So let's grab another piece of paper. And, well, I've got the gray. I cut part of that already, so let's just Let's just score it. And kind of trim it down to size. Make it look a little more card-like. Well, it looks a little more card-like. I bet that's actually pretty close to an A2. Oh! That was pretty good, right? I free-handed that one. Okay, so I've got my scoring. I've got my card base. And then remember, I just missed my letter. Let's line it up again. No worries. Now I'm going to take my word and I'm going to line it up on my paper. And remember those little notchies? Can you see the little notchy right there and the little pointer right there? Those are your guides. You're going to want that little pointer to point right on that score line. Can you see my little pointer? My little pointer is right there and it's pointing right to that score line. Then you're going to want your little notchy over here to also be right on that score line. I don't want my notch up here. Now it's way up here and my score line is here. Score line's right there. I need that notch. They've given you the references. Boy, that eye just wants to come right on out. They've given you the references. They've given you the tools to register where you put your words so that they line up where they're supposed to be. And for them to dimensionalize themselves out, they have to be there, just on the score line and there, just on the score line. It's just that simple. It is so easy. Then I bring over my die cutting machine. Pick up my paper, put it down, make sure that my arrow is on my score line. Looks really good right there. Make sure my little notchy on this side is on my score line. Looks really good there. So my notch is right on my score line. My arrow is right on my score line. And then I'm going to send it through. And again, this is easy. There's no precision base plate needed. You don't even have to go back and forth if you don't want to. One roll will do it. I go back and forth just because it's easy and I have to pull this out anyway. Take off my maker's tape. Put my dies back on my magnets. So my W, my S, my H, and my I. Okay. And now I have cut the word wish into my paper. And it's folded, scored. This is where you come in. So far it's been easy. All we've done is basic die cutting. No problem. But you can see that my W has got extended wings on them. All of them, a little S has got a string hanging off of it. My H has got really long tops, but short bottoms. This is where you come into it. And whether you come to it from the back side or the front side is going to be up to you. And you're just going to have to play. This is where you take, and those lines that put little score lines in them. So that T that had that big hat has that score line right here and a score line right here. It cut all around, but it didn't cut down at the bottom. It didn't cut here. So the W didn't cut at the bottoms. There's a score line at the bottom of each W, and then there's a score line at the top and a score line here. So the actual W didn't cut out of the paper, it cut into the paper. And this is where it becomes, well, or how do you want to do this? Because ultimately what you have to do is just take each of the little wings and kind of fold it up on itself on that score line. So some people do it from the back and push that little wing out and then fold it on up. Some people do it from the front. Ta-da! There we go. And then this one, just fold it up. Now I know it's like it's crinkling the paper, but that's okay. It's all right that it's crinkling the paper. So I grabbed my W, my little wing here, and I just folded it right on up on the score line. And there we go, up and score. My little I, I'm gonna grab my little I, and I'm gonna find that score line, and I'm just gonna fold it right up on it. Right up on it. And then my S, I'm just gonna grab my S and fold right up on that score line. Can you see them starting to pop? My little H, and fold right up on that score line on one, and then grab the other one and fold right up on that score line. And it wants to do it almost, I mean, it will fold almost directly onto that score line on its own. That's why they put the score line in there, because it's telling the paper, hey, fold here, fold me here. By putting those little lines in there when you die cut, it's telling the paper, fold me here, fold me here. All right. So I think I've got those. So now I've started to pop out. Then the bottom ones are also they're not cut out. So all I have to do is bend them down. Bend my W and score it. Bend my I and score it. Bend my S and score it. And bend my H and score the two legs on my H. And before you know it, it really is simple. My best recommendation is that you get some paper that you do not love and you cut some words, doesn't even matter what they are, and you see how to put it together. Because then, once you close it, make sure all my words are up, and once you do that, it like cements it for you. That's all it needs to just cement it. You need to get it popped out, but once you've got it to that point, all you have to do is close it. And you're thinking, okay, but now what do I do with it? Well, now you take it and you can put it on the inside of a card. Really cute, right? So I could take this and just trim this on down. I could use the white of the card as my mat. I'm probably not as centered as I could. Oh yeah, I'm nowhere near centered. Okay, well, we'll just trim it down a little bit more and have a little bit more of the white mat. Better. And then take a little off my top and my bottom. You would probably use a trimmer to do this, and I do have a trimmer here. I just haven't chosen to use it. And Elena's like, but I put it on your table. I know, I know. Look how cute. Now to tape it down. How do I tape it down? Stacy tape. Stacy tape to tape it down. So your fold, your score line that you put into your paper to make it do this is going to marry up with the score line in your card base. So let's put some Stacy tape down. Turn it upside down, and sticky dots are not going to work. You need something strong. So let's put some here, and I'm just going to go right around the edges of my card base, or of my three-dimensional insert. And I'm not going to go past the score line here. And then another 3 pieces. That's all I need to use is 6 pieces, 3 on each side. So 3 on this side of the fold and 3 on this side of the fold. So there we go. Now I'm ready to tape it in place. But at SMS Girls Claire's suggestion, I'm not going to pull all the tape at once. So the liners are there, and it's not going to be sticky until I pull those liners off. And I'm going to want to put my bottom piece, I'm going to want to put that bottom of the card down first. So I'm going to take my Stacy tape and I'm going to pull it up, and then I'm going to kind of crease it to the side. And actually, I want to do it from the closest to the score line. So closest to the score line, pull my tape, and then kind of crease it to the side. So closest to the score line, pull my tape, and then crease it to the side. And then at the top, it doesn't matter which side you pull it from, but then I'm going to crease it to the side. Why did I make those little wings, those little tabs? Because that will allow me to kind of position it in place where I want it to go without fully cementing my tape down. Because it's Stacy tape, once you put it down onto paper, it really doesn't want to come back up. It's really super strong. So this lets me get it into that crease line, center it where I need to center it, cement it into place, and then I can pull the rest of my tabs and put it down. And nothing is sticking to me. I'm not trying to get it off my fingers, or it's holding on to me. If I had pulled all the tape off, then it would be holding on to me. I mean, it's all the way along the back sides. Now, same thing here. Closest to the score line, I'm going to pull the tape closest to the score line, but I'm not going to pull it all the way off. I'm going to put a little wing here, and I'm going to pull closest to the score line and a little wing there. See, it wants to stick to me. Little wing, and then my top and a little wing here. That will give me the chance to move it and to touch it and to hold it and to cement it in place. And then all I have to do is pull and pull and pull. And now my wish is cemented in place. And then if I close it, and every time I close it, it's going to close on those fold lines. And every time I open it, it's going to be dimensional. It really is that simple. Let's do another one super fast, just so you can see, and then we're gonna move on. So let's grab, how about the blue? We'll try with the blue. Blue is pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna want to decide, do I want to use an A2 card? Doesn't matter what size card base you use. We did one on a slimline. Doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go with an A2. Now I know that this is going to be much longer than an A2. I get that. I'm going to put this one over here for now. I'm going to fold it in half. Score it. And then I can put it inside my card base and see how much I want to trim off, or if I'm going to trim off after I've done my words. So if let's say I trim off a little bit off each side. And I do have a trimmer, I do. All right, let's pull it out. We only have a few of these left. This is a small 9-inch trimmer, but I could get I could if I wanted to. Let's see, where am I at? Yeah, maybe a 1/4 inch. I'm better at eyeballing. And then some off the bottom. So we have a few 9-inch trimmers left. We've got replacement blades if you already have a 9-inch trimmer, or any of the Westcott trimmers. Well, I'm gonna go with it. It's still not perfectly straight. What I like about this trimmer is that it has the scoring blade to score. So instead of me just folding it and scoring it, I could put it in there and use my scoring blade. But, okay, so now I know that it's going to fit inside my paper. There we go. Now what word do I want to spell? What word do I want to spell? How about hope? How about H? O, P, and E. How about hope? Now my words are upside down right now. I can feel the ridges. I need to turn them over so I can read them. H, O, and then I need my little notches to line up. P, and E. And then I'm going to take my maker's tape. Put it down. If one's a little closer to the other, that's okay. So my O, if my O's a little closer to my H or my P, that's okay. All I want to do is make sure that I tape them down while they're on my mat. Then I can decide where they need to center on my card. And again, I've got my little notchies to tell me, oh, here's your score line. Line it up with your score line. So once you center it on your paper, then you just line that arrow up and line that little notch up. And send it through, die cut. They've given you all the advantages. No measuring, no guessing, all the advantages by having those notches there. All the registration marks that you need. And roll, roll, roll. Done. And just for ease, I'm just going to roll back because I have to take this out anyway. My word is cut. And I might just leave hope. Maybe I'll keep hope. All right. Now you can see I've got the word hope. And again, and here's my score line. And the H has got really tall H legs, and the O has got a little string hanging from it, and the P's got a little string hanging from it, and the E has got a little hat to it. Those are the score lines. So it's up to you. From the front, you just take each word, each letter, and kind of lift it up to find that score line, and away it goes. The girls like to do it. The girls were doing it from the back. So they were coming in with their fingers and kind of going in and out, and then taking them and pulling them up and looking at it from the back to find the score line, and then moving it up. It's really up to you. It's not hard to do. You just have to decide which way is the way that's going to work best for you, and away you go. Because all you're doing is scoring that paper on the line provided. Let's get that H. And then let's get that O. And let's get that P. So I'm just taking it right up. I'm just pulling it right up, and the bottom of the paper is coming with it because it's still attached. And that E, I can see right where that score line is. So that E is right on that score line. So my P looks good, my O looks good, my H looks a little meh. I'm gonna grab that score line again and move it up. There we go. And my H on this side looks a little meh. Okay, so now I've got part of it popped out. Now all I have to do is the bottom ones. The bottom ones, you just push forward. Push. And push. And push. I'm just pushing those letters forward. That's all I'm doing is pushing it forward. And my little P, and I'm going to push it forward because it's scoring at the bottom of it. And my E, and I'm going to push it forward because it's scoring at the bottom of it. And then I can put my fingers through, kind of like you were with those little toy things you had with a kid that wouldn't let your fingers go. And I can cement it. And then I just close it. I'll make sure that H is where it's supposed to be. Hope. And once you get to that part, because you're able to really enforce those score lines by pressing, you're good to go. So then I can come over and put my Stacy tape down. So just lay it flat, upside down, so you shouldn't be able to read it. It's backwards. You want to lay it upside down so that you're making a little tent here. If you're taping it and you've got wings, you're upside down. You need to make a tent. Tent. No wings. I don't want to add tape all the way around if I've got wings. I want a tent. Take my Stacy tape. And one. Stacy tape is great tape, but it's terrible. When I say it's terrible, it means you don't have to have scissors. It's not like red line. It's strong, really strong, but you don't have to have scissors to cut it. And nothing is sticky until you pull that liner off. So I'm just gonna go all the way around. I've done the 3 pieces on that side. Now I'm gonna do the 3 pieces on this side. And remember, I need it to be a tent, not wings. If you're laying tape down and you've got wings, oh no, turn it over. Turn it over. I suppose unless you're gonna hold it up to a mirror, then maybe it'll be right. Would it be right if you held it up to a mirror? Because it would read it backwards. Okay, so I've got 3 and 3. And then I always want to start, when I put it in my card, I want to start with the bottom and not the top. The bottom and not the top. So, and I want to start with the tape closest to my score line. And all I'm going to do is peel some of it back. And then make a little tab. Peel some of it back. And then make a tab. That means I've got a place to put my fingers. If I peeled all of this off, it would be sticking to me. I have no place to put my fingers. Since I need to fit it in and wedge it in there, it's not like I'm just putting it down like a mat. No, I need to make sure that I get it in. I need the score lines to line up. So I'm just going to put it on in, center it where I want it to be, and then wedge it in there. And once I've done that, pull, pull, pull. 6 pieces of tape is all I've used. I didn't use a bone folder. I haven't done anything special to score it. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold it down, and the tape closest to that center, closest to that score line, I'm going to tab it and then tab it. My recommendation is you pull out some yucky paper and you cut some words and you just play until you get the feel of it. So again, I'm going to kind of push it back into that score line, put it down, and then pull, 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 kind of like ripping the cord on a parachute. And then all I have to do is close it on up. So I've put my fingers in there to make sure that it closes well. And then once it closes, push down, and it's good to go. Closes right on its own. Good to go. So now I've got hope. I've got hope, and I've got wish. So those are the 2 that I've got, hope and wish. Now we want to make them a little more than this, right? How do you make it more than this? This is where the letters come again in handy. Even if Even if you never want to do this, you never want to do this. You are saying, Stacy, I love you very much. You're great. I love your classes. I am never going to do this. Okay, I hear you. You will do it if you buy them. You're going to have to try it. I promise you, you will have to try it. But let's take some of the pattern paper. Ooh, what do I want to use? That's real pretty, right? Or do I want the gray? I used the gray already. I suppose I could use the gray on this one. Okay, let's use this one. And let's take my word hope again. I just need a piece. That's all I need, and I've got a piece that's foiled. And let's take my hope. Let's put my hope down. Okay, way too much paper, so I'm just going to trim it down. So I've got my hope. Last time I did it on this big piece of paper and I was scoring and I had to line it up with the score lines. And you're like, but now you're just using that little piece of paper. I know. And I'm going to use a bigger piece of Stacy tape. So Stacy tape comes in everything from 1/8 of an inch all the way up to 6 inches. So there's 1/8 and 1/4 and 1/2 and 3/8 and 1 inch and 2 inches. Gosh, I think there's 1.5 inches. There's 2.5 inches. Then there's 5 inches and 6 inches. And there's a lot of tape on here. Oodles. So I'm just going to rip off a piece of Stacy tape. I'm going to flip my hope over. I'm going to put a piece of Stacy tape right on the back of that. Done. And I've got my hope. Now let's die cut. So you hear some creaks and cracks because now I'm asking it to go through paper, foiled paper at that, and adhesive, and the liner that's on the Stacy tape, but no worries, no problem at all. Peel off my maker's tape, take off my letters, and now all I have to do is snip them out. There's my H. You're like, but Stacy, it's so tall. You don't need all that. I know. Remember, the bottom is scored right on the letter. So you know the bottom is going to line up perfectly right here because it's scored right on the letter. Now all I have to do is trim the top off, and you can see there's score lines. Let's see how close I get. Find my score line. Is that it? So I think those are my score lines. There and there. And I've got an H. So let's do my O. O is easy. O, all I have to do is get rid of scores, snip outs here, snip out there. kind of go right along the score line and snip out my O. You know what you have to snip off. It's easy. Just zoop and zoop. Okay. Now let's do, oh, that's not the side the trash can's on. Sorry, Mr. SMS. Now let's do the P. And the P is here, and the P is here, and the P at the bottom. I can just snip it as opposed to going straight down. And then I can see where my score line is. I can see it. It's right there. And snip. Now I've got a P. And then my E. So let's snip and snip. And then I can just cut right along the bottom of my E. Just snip that right out. I don't need to keep this anymore. And I'm going to cut that hat right off my E, and I can see where the score line is. And I just go snip. Now all I have to do is peel my Stacy tape off the back. Just like that. And put my H in there. And push him in place. Oh, he's too high. Too high. Do I have him upside down? Why, yes, I do have him upside down. So my H, oh, better. My H, I think my H is still too tall. Then my O. And I'm just going to put it right on the inside. There, right on top of my O. And there he is. And now my P. Take off the Stacy tape. The Stacy tape makes it an instant sticker. And so why am I not using sticky dots? Because you open and close this so many times. You need strength. Stacy tape's going to give you that strength. And my E. Now I can stick my fingers kind of through. Just press everything down in place. And close it up, press everything in place. And now I'm good to go. I would take the little O and maybe put it back in there. But you also could take a piece of paper behind here. But how easy is that? I mean, that's super easy. So even if you don't make the three-dimensional letters, you can use your letters. Let's do wish again. And frankly, I don't even need them to be connected because I'm not going to use them for that. Let's do our wish again. And let's do it out of the blue. So I'm going to take a piece of Stacy tape. Put it on my blue. All I need to do is be sure that my letters are on there. Doesn't even matter what order I put them in because I'm just going to cut them out. So it doesn't matter what order I put them in there, or even if I have them attached to each other with the little notches and arrows. Doesn't make a difference. All I want to do is cut my letters out. Let's bring it back on over. Put it up. Get my letters on there. Need to make sure the bottom of the letter is on the paper. And then let's send it on through. Don't twist. Oh, I'm way off center. There we go. Okay, let's send it on through. So if you don't have a font in your arsenal of crafty stuff, if you don't have a font, wow, this gets you a font really inexpensively. Gets you all your letters. And cut that off, and so you can see. Can you see where the score line is? Shows you where it is. That's where you're just going to cut. And cut. And here's my H. And I'm going to cut off. Can you see those score lines? Right here. 2 little lines. I'm going to cut those off. No guessing where you're supposed to cut. And then I need to get rid of my bottom. Just cut right across that bottom right there. And my H is now out. And then my O. There's my center. So can you see the little bit of the bottom of the O? Can you see that I need to just trim? That's where it was scored into the paper. I need to just trim that right off. And my little top piece, and trim that right on off. And last but not least, my E. I'm going to keep that piece. And there's my score line. Cut that right off. Now I don't even have to use them. Stacy tape on the back, instant sticker. And now I've just used them as a font. Has nothing to do with making it dimensional. Nothing at all. But can you do it with pattern paper? Yes, absolutely. Let's go back and look at some of that pattern paper. So What do we want to go with? Do we like that? Ooh. I like the foil. What can I say? It's pretty. But maybe we go with this. And now I want to do an A2 size card, or an A6 size card, or a slimline card. And maybe I want that to take up the whole card. Maybe I don't want any white around the outside. So let's just trim this on down. All right. I am just so much better freehanding it than using a trimmer, but I know so many of you can't imagine freehanding. Mark this date. Stacy picked up a trimmer. Oops, see a little. Well, it's going to take a little more off. If we have to trim it again and mat it, we will. All right, so there's that. And then here's this. Still a little big. Pretty close. All right, we're gonna go with it. And then, so this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is where I need to score it. Oh, did I put score lines in there for me? Wouldn't that have been nice? No, I didn't. I must have made those notes for something we did with the trimmer. Let's see. So here I've got so let's do it at 4. Let's see if I'm close. See, I would just do this by hand. And we'll score it. I was a little off. Okay. But it's scored. Trimmer used. There. Wahahaha. But I'm still off, so I'm going to trim it down. I do better freehanding. All right. Woo! See, and it doesn't knock my camera when I freehand. All right, so I think I might save these. But it took me longer to do that than it would freehand. Now, let's decide what word do we want to do. Hope. How about joy? Do we like joy? So let's put my hope back together. Well, I need the O. My E can go back. My H can go back. My P can go back. So if I did joy, I would need a J, an O, and a Y. So now I'm going to take my J, my O and my Y. I'm going to turn them so that the ridges are face down. I'm going to line my little notchies right up. Yeah, that magnetized. Look at that. Well, that's kind of nice. Take a little of my maker's tape. Line it up. I needed a bigger piece. Just a little bit bigger piece. Now I bring my cardstock over where it has been scored and line my joy up so that my arrow is pointing to my score line and my score line is diving into my little notch. So all I need to do is line those up. And that's all the registration mark you have to worry about. Well, and center it. I did that by eyeball, but I'm a little off, so I'm going to move it over. I think that's pretty good. So I've got my joy, and now it's ready to go through. Bring over my machine. I've got my base platform. I've got my solo shim. I've got my cut plate. I've got my paper, my word so that I can read it. Ridges face down. And I'm going to send it on through. And these are non-intricate dies, so one roll will do it. Keep that one. And my joy is there. Now all I have to do is find my little score marks and fold my paper up. I know it looks like it's going to tear, but you're going to be okay. I just need to fold that paper up on those score marks. So that O is now pulled all the way up. So I've bent it here, and then I'm bending it at the score mark on the O. And then my Y. So I'm going to bend it and bend it again. Oop. Maybe I do both of these at the same time. And bend. And I know it feels weird. I know it looks weird. It looks like you're going to tear your paper because everything is still attached. The O and the Y and the J, they're still attached to the paper. They're not coming out. It's all about just folding that paper up. Okay, and then once you've got that paper folded so you can see them starting to stick out, then you're going to take the bottom and you're going to fold the bottom down. Fold the bottom down. And then you can put your fingers through it and kind of see what you've got. There's your joy. Did you find your joy? Aren't you supposed to buy things that only bring you joy? Well, I think this will bring you joy. And then There, we're good. Now I can bring over my card base. And I can see my joy is starting to go there. And I can put my tape down. Remember, 6 pieces of tape, all you need. One, two, 3. Remember, I made a mountain. So I've got a mountain, not wings. Don't add your tape if you've got wings. I made a mountain. Zoom in a little. There we go. And 3 more pieces of tape. 3 pieces of tape on each side. There's 3. Now I need to add 3 here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, grab my card base, put my joy in there, and remember, I want to put down my bottom piece before my top piece. So, and I want to go closest to the score line first. Peel my tape up closest to the score line, and then make a little wing, a little flap, a little tab. Up and tab. And this is Claire's trick to do the little tabbies. That way it's not sticking all over to you and you have time to fit it in. So I've got my card. I'm going to stick it right in there and put it right on the score line, center it up. And then pull the rest of my tabs and put it down. It's just that simple. One part down. Got my little joy. Let's do the top tabs. Closest to the score line. And then let's make sure that I've got it well wedged in there. Close it up a little bit and then pull the rest of my tabs. And my joy is done. Now I've got a little bit of this paper left over. And I've got my joy. Look at that, it'll fit right there. Perfect. Nope, I want my 1-inch Stacy tape. Okay, could I use smaller tape? Sure. What if you only have the smaller size? Okay, no problem. Just put a couple strips. 1. Does it have to be the widest? No, of course not. Just put a couple strips of tape. Then when it cuts it, it'll still cut with tape on the back and make an instant sticker. Bring over my machine. I love these dies. They are so useful and so practical. And at that price, I think I would have trouble spending $29.99 for them. But for the two for $19.99, see, I got tape on the back. And I didn't have to keep these connected, but they were, so I did. And then all I gotta do, I can see my score lines. I can see exactly where my score lines are. I'm just gonna cut straight across and go zoop and zoop and zoop and okay, so there's that. Now all I gotta do is get the bottoms out. There's my J. There's my O. And there's my Y. Bring back over my letters. And so I'll have a few more pieces to pull off as opposed to just one piece. But if you've got smaller width double stick tape, Stacy tape ideally, or Suk Wang or Elizabeth Crafts, you need something that's going to hold. And I just line it up. And, oh, you moved. There's my J. There's my O. So my O is here. There's my O. And last but not least, my Y. Why? Because we really love Sizzix. Oh, I just popped my J. All right. All right. Joy. I would probably take that. I'd probably take the O and put that little piece right in there. Knowing me, I would do that. But there's my Joy. Close it up. And, oh, don't stick. And away you go. I popped this one. So when I stuck my finger in there, my finger was too fat and it broke the paper. Don't do that. My finger was too fat. When I went to the Y, I should have done the Y from this side, but I stuck my finger all the way in there and popped my J. But it can be fixed. A little bit of glue and you're good to go. Okay, Joy. So they're easy to use, but remember, we started with this. And this is the envelope liner that we made into a card base. Why did we start with this? Because what if you don't have card bases, or what if you run out of card bases and you want to do this? Well, you have this die, and this die makes a card base, and we could do the exact same thing. We could pull, we used this paper, right? So we could take some of this. So let's trim this down. and trim this down and see if we're anywhere near close. No, we're not too bad. I'm going to go with it. So I could line this in here. Go back a little bit. Okay, and then let's do, so if I wanted that there, and then let's do this one, the little bit smaller. And a little bit smaller, so cut there. And then take a little bit off the side. Okay, let's see how that works. So did I make a mat for this one yet? Oh, not too bad. Got a mat. See, I'm far faster freehanding. So now I've got that, and I've got that, and I've got that. Let's score this. And then let's put that inside. And let's score that. Okay, and then let's take joy, because we've got it. It's done. So, it's going to go this way. So my happy birthday. Square this down just a little bit more. Say goodbye. Shoop. Yeah. Put that in there. I want to see my joy. So all I have to do is line it up on my score lines. Here and there. Take this piece and let's cut. So all I've used is paper. The Sizzix botanical paper is very pretty, and I love that you get foil with it. That just makes my heart happy. Make sure that my little lines are on my score a little bit higher. I think I'm going to score that one more time. Just give it a really good score so I can see it. Okay, now line my joy up. So my little arrow is pointing to my score line here, and my little score line is going right into my little guy there. And let's cut. So if you want to make your card base, because it's with the flash sale and it's with the I Want It All bundle, No problem. We made our card base. Instead of taking, I've been using white pre-made card bases. I feel bad about my little J. Sorry, J. Cute though. But we've been using white pre-made card bases. This time I made my card base and I'm going to mat it and I'm going to put my joy in there. Now all I got to do is take my joy and pull my J kind of up so it bends on the score line. Bend and up. Bend and up. So it's going to end up pulling the paper with it. I'm bending and up. Can you see it's pulling the paper with it? But that's okay. My O, I need to bend and score. So it's pulling the paper with it. That's okay. My Y, there's one side of my Y. There's the other side of my Y. So I've got the top done. Now I need to do the bottom and I just need to push them forward. This time I'm not going to put my fat finger through it and ruin my J. Okay, so my joy is started. Good. So this is where I'm at so far. I've got my happy birthday. Open it up, enjoy. And last but not least, let's take my little piece of paper. And I guess I can just put those down. Let's put a 1-inch Stacy tape on the back side of it. Oh, I've got that piece that okay, see, that's the piece that I didn't use before, but I just laid it right back on top because the only thing that doesn't stick to Stacy tape is the liner. So I didn't waste it. I'll use it now. I told you we would come full circle. It might have taken a little while to get there, okay. But we have come full circle. Now I'm going to cut my joy out of my green. Love this color. And before we do that, let's mat everything down. So I think I'm going to trim just a little bit off of this, just a hair bit. Okay, let's tape this down. And you would do a much better job of taping. I'm just wanting to get it in my card base so you can see. This time I did not use a pre-made card base. We made this card using the envelope liner. Score into score. I probably should have used Claire's rule, but we're just going to go for it. Score into score. Trim down just a little bit. Say zoop. Okay, score into score. And then this one, do I want to put the letters on it before I put it down? Well, it would certainly be easier. So I'm going to go ahead and do that since I haven't taped it down yet. So I can see where all the score lines are. And I can just cut right along the score lines. There's the score lines for the Y. I just cut right across there and cut those little wings off that let you do the three-dimensional. Say goodbye. And then cut along the bottom And my Y is out. And then so it's definitely easier putting your top piece, if you're going to change the color of the letters, to do it before you tape everything down. I'm a little off, but that's okay. And then right across from my O, and my O is out. And undo the backing and put my O down. And then my J, there's the score line, cut right across it. And then free it from the bottom, because that's where we would have scored it to, but we want the whole word out. So we've come back to where we started. And then you can see why I paired them up the way I did. Because if you want to make your own card base, for $19.99 you get the pop-out letters, and you can make your own card bases, and you can make them to any size that you want. Oh, I do want that center. Where'd it go? Not that one. I want to put that little center right there for that O, but I think I might have tossed it. All right, well, we're gonna go with it anyway. So close it up, grab my tape, 3 pieces of tape on each side, 1, 2. Now, are my cards beautiful when they're done? No, I've rushed through these. It's all about showing you the technique. I know that there are amazing people out there on YouTube that will show you start to finish the most beautiful card when they're done. I'm trying to show you the technique, and hopefully the samples the girls made, or when you make your own, you'll see how beautiful they are. Mine are done. Ooh, mine are done to show you the technique. So my lines are not straight, and my cuts are not perfect, and my matting is not perfect. I'm hoping that you can see past that, so and value the technique and the teachings on how to use the dies, not only properly, but how to use them maybe in a way you didn't use them before. I have to trust that you're going to get just some plain paper, and you're going to play. You don't need me to make a beautiful, stunning card. The girls have made samples. You want to know how to use these dies properly. So there it is. I'm going to start with my bottom. So close it up, pull from the closest to here's my score line. My score line's right here. So I'm not going to pull the tape this way. I'm going to pull the tape from the score line up and then make a little tabby. I got a piece of tape on my fingers. And a score line up and make a little tabby. And then here at the top here, it doesn't matter from which direction you pull it. And that will give me the opportunity to go in there and center and really push it into that score line. And then pull my tabs. Ooh, am I off? I really am off. Wow. Holy smokes, artichokes, but oh well. Nope. Put it back down. I want to leave a tabby, otherwise it's going to be a little more difficult. So pull up and leave a tabby. And pull up and leave a tabby. I'm really not trying to go for perfection here to show you the most beautiful card when I'm done. I'm really trying to show you how to get the most out of your dies. Oh, I'm way off, but that's okay. And then we close it. Oh, and I'm backwards. Well, can I rotate? Do you think I can get it off? I didn't use, oh, let's see. Can I get it off? Can I get it off? Oh. Oh. Okay, let's go this way. Now it's going to kind of be hard. See, things happen. Life happens. Oh, and I don't have anything to I'm just going to have to just wedge it in there with my fingers. Wedge, wedge, wedge. And then close it. Ha ha ha. Like it never happened, right? Shh. Don't tell anybody. And then joy. Ha ha. Yay. Probably should have done it in the light green on there, huh? Probably, but that's okay. I used the envelope maker to make this card. I could put one in here, absolutely. Without question. All I have to do is cut it down. Now I've got hope and joy. All I did was cut it down. Went in either size. And I can make whatever size I want because I've got that flexibility with the room, just where you hold your score line from. All that's important is, do you want your score line right underneath to give you a bigger card? Or do you hold your score line here to give you a smaller card? Or do you do it somewhere in the middle? Maybe you really want a small card or you just want table place settings and you hold it there. Options are yours, but I didn't have to use a pre-made card. I can. But I also can use one that I made myself, which means you can use a slimline card, you can use an A6 card, you can use a 5x7 card, you can use whatever side makes your heart happy, whatever you're working with, whatever card size you like. We've got samples. These are easy dies to use. Sizzix has given you all the tools you need for these alphabets. They've given you the registration by putting the little notches in there. I absolutely recommend putting them on magnet sheets. And they just, oh, H, I, J, and K. They come taped down. So they come taped down. We taped down the magnet sheets. We opened the entire thing up, taped down the magnet sheets, and then added them to the magnet sheets. So we used the entire length of the packaging. However you want to do it, but I absolutely recommend the magnet sheets. They've given you the registration marks. They've given you the score lines. You've seen how cute they can be when everything pops up and you've got that three-dimensional. And kids, and I don't know anybody who doesn't love a dimensional card that when they open it up and it pops, they're not going, oh my gosh, that's so cute. They all do it. They all want to know how you did it. And now because you've got the alphabet, you can do any word you want. And if you have a word that has two R's, like Mary, you'll roll it through once with the M-E-R, and then you'll roll it through, you'll line it up again with the rest of the word. So that's why I'm saying if you get the bundle, which has the alphabets and the envelope liners, which, okay, whatever, but we used them as a card base. If you buy these two for the $19.99 and you can swing it, get yourself a second set of alphabets for $10. That way you have two of everything and you don't have to roll it through twice. You'll have two R's, you'll have two S's, you'll have two E's. It just makes things easier. And it's not, now you're not spending $60 for two of them. You're spending $20 for two of them. And that's well worth it. So I said there wasn't a lot on sale this week, and there really isn't. We've got the two sets of dies. Let me show you. We've got the two sets of dies being sold as an I Want It All for $19.99. If you just want one or the other, you can get one or the other for $10 each. I really recommend getting the bundle because you saw how I took the envelope liners and made them a card, and then made them a card that has the three-dimensional pop out. Any size card you want. And then we have the paper that I was using. It's beautiful. Love the botanical cardstock. The colors are not the same in any other pad. And then I love the coordinating. For me, this is easy. I struggle with paper. Oh, do I struggle with paper. But this is easy. I flip through, I pick the color paper I want, then I go through, I find the coordinating color that I want, and I'm done. That makes my life easy. And because it's double-sided, you have options, and they gave you foil. Who doesn't love foil? Look at how pretty. To me, this is easy. And if you're doing a group of people, if you're working with a group of people, even if you're not using these dies, having this with the cardstock, it just, everybody coordinates. The hues, everybody matches. Everything plays well together in the same pond. Just makes things easy if you're doing a class. All right, so really, that's all that's on sale. We do have all of my card bases as part of the YouTube. It's always part of the YouTube Yummies. I do A2, A6, 5x7, and Slimline. So each pack you get 25 cards and 25 envelopes, and the packs range, I think, from $6.99 or $7.99 to $9.99. I think the 5x7s and the Slimlines, you get 25 cards, 25 envelopes, 200 or 300 GSM. That means 200 pounds. When you pick up one of my card bases, most people think they're picking up two and they're trying to separate it. No, it's 200-pound paper. So, but those are always part of the YouTube Yummy. So really, that's all I got for you today is the paper and the dies. Paper's at 20% off. Dies are at flash sale pricing. Dies are limited. Get them while we got them. When they're gone, they're gone. All right, so let's do samples. That's all I got to show. I know you're like, really? I'm like, oh, and we do have a few of these left, like under 20 of these left. But we do have the replacements. We have about 100 of the replacements left. So if you've got a trimmer, a Westcott trimmer, I have got, you don't get the scorer, you get two blades. I want to say for $2.99 and not $8.99. So we've got the blades left. So if you've got one of these trimmers, whether you got the pink or the purple, we have the replacement blades for you. And then when they're gone, they're gone. So that's what we've got left of that. Let's do samples. Okay, first things first. Here is a cute little card. So the congrats is made I think I'm too high. The congrats is made using the dies that come in the envelope maker set, and we made a cute little card out of it. Look at it, isn't that so cute? Put that on a little gift bag, and how darling is that? The congrats is part of it. Remember, I told you it's gonna cut in. Remember, we cut in and we did the happy birthday. So the congrats came from the envelope set, which you can make envelopes with. The card, the friends came from the letters. We didn't pop anything. We used the Sizzix paper. Everything coordinates. We didn't pop anything. We just cut these right out, cut the little tabbies off of them that make them dimensional, and glued them right on down. And we used the envelope maker to make our card. Okay, then we have the slimline. So Mary, we used the letters. We just cut off just like I was doing all day. We shadowed them in the gold. And then you open it up and you have Christmas. So Merry Christmas. All on the dimension. Told you could do a slimline. Super cute, right? Merry, and then they open it up and Christmas pops out at them. Elena did this card. Hello, rock star. Okay, then we have the U that I showed you earlier. And then you open it up and make me smile. So the U, make me smile. And then this one, we didn't even have time to finish the front. We just left it. But inside is super cute. It says faith. All done with the Sizzix paper. Faith. How would you like to see this decorated? How would you finish it off? But the inside says faith. Then we have welcome. Look at it, isn't that so cute? And then you open it up, home. Welcome home. Welcome home. All on the dimension. Then we have faith cut out of the letters, not popped at all. The and, pretty butterfly, faith and hope. Oh, my E moved. All right, well, there we go. Faith and hope. I'm not going to stick my finger in there to stick it down. I'll end up tearing maybe. Well, it should be okay if I use faith and hope. Look at how cute is that. So I would not use sticky dots to put down your letters. I would use Stacy tape because you're opening and closing and opening and closing and they're moving. I would use something stronger and use Stacy tape. Gosh, that's so pretty. Faith and hope. Then we have thank and you. Thank and you. And look at the little birdie stuck to it. And the birdie is flat and he lays flat down. Look at how cute is this. Thank you. So cute. And here we have the horse on the front. And then we open it up and we've got howdy. Isn't that cute? Howdy. Oh, my W fell. Yeah, definitely Stacy tape. But they're so cute. Look at the little horse and howdy. So cute. Okay, and what is my, yeah, it's still there. Okay, love, peace, and joy. So the girls made beautiful samples. Love, peace, and then they open it up and joy pops. Okay, you make me, all done with the letters, and we just trimmed them out like I was doing. Should I see? Oh yeah, they're all in good place. You make me smile. Oh, look at the little smile. SMS girl Renee did this one. Isn't it stinking cute? Doesn't it just make you laugh? You make me smile. What kid would not love this card? This is just happiness. You make me smile. Okay, and then we've got the one that I showed you in the beginning, beautiful front and many thanks. The many is right down to it. The thanks is what is popped. The many is just taped right or glued right down to it. Such a pretty card. And here we didn't finish, we started. Looks good. Oh, look at that. Okay, so the hello is from the set that does the envelopes. The hello is from the set that does the envelopes. Hello, friend. This is pretty. Love the colors. Look at the bling bling. And this is the paper that comes in the background paper here is what comes in that Sizzix pack. And then they must have used an opulent, the mirror from the opulent. Ooh, pretty. Love that. And then we have here, so a very simple front, put a little sentiment on it, but when you open it, look at how pretty is that joy. Look at the bow. Oh my gosh. All the little blings and the word joy. Front, open. And then another one, plain, don't know what we had something planned for it, but didn't get done. Oh, wish, okay, that works. And again, the paper from the botanicals, the pattern paper and the cardstock. What would you put on the front of it? And then you open and wish. Make a wish, right? And then happy birthday down here. Really cute. Oh, and look at the front of this one. Oh, maybe, I think we're going to get to make a wish. Look at the front of this one. And then you open it and you've got love and then you. So love, you. The love is popped, is dimensional, and the you is flat. Ha! Make a. Aha, make a wish. Look at how cute. These are just stickers. The make a is the alphabet, and we just cut at all the score lines and glued it down, and then we popped the wish. Make a wish. And then hello, friend. How cute is that? Hello, friend. Hello, friend. And then we did do a couple envelopes. So now the envelopes are meant for a square fold, a square top. We just used them anyway on my envelopes because we had them. And we just put them in there anyway. So here's the happy birthday. And then here is the fallouts where we've glued down happy birthday. So these here came out of here. So you get both, you can do both. And here we have congrats. So that's what that is supposed to do. It's supposed to make envelope liners. But we made card bases out of them. And then I do have a layout for you. And you open it up. This is Elena. Open, open, and smile. You think you can't use it on a layout? Oh, but you can. And this is done with the envelope liner. This was made with the envelope liner. Smile. Right? Super cute. And then a little pocket. Place for another picture. So let me go back just a little bit. So a layout. And absolutely, just undo it, open it, and smile. Look at how cute is that? Really darling. All right, you guys. Well, what do you think? Is it worth $19 or was it $29.99 to begin with? That was the original price. Were you like wahoo kachoo? Let me go back. Were you wahoo kachoo with the $29.99 for the two sets? Wherever the two sets went, would you have spent $29.99 for this one? With all the alphabet? Maybe for all the alphabet. I mean, I'd really have to think about it. I would not have spent $29.99 on this one. Sorry, Sizzix, I would not have. But I suppose if somebody had shown me all the things I could do with it before I spent my $29.99, maybe then I would have bought it, because then I would understand that there's so much more you can do with this. It's not just envelope liners. Oh, heavens no. However, $19.99 for the two of them, sign me up. And that's what I said, sign me up, I'll take them. And if you can't afford to, get an extra one of the letters. That way you've got two of everything. You don't have to run anything through twice. You can just line up your entire word. And that's how with Christmas. So with Christmas, because you've got two S's, she was able to, because we had two sets open, she was able to line up the whole thing and run it through the whole thing. Mind you, she had to use a plus machine. So it had to be wider to get it done. But we had two sets of dies open and she was able to run it through. No problem. It's just a little bit easier. If you have two R's, you can do, as opposed to having to run this R through 4 times, because you have a shadow and a cardstock, and then a shadow and the gold and a cardstock. She just had to run it through, twice. Or even, maybe she even got it through once. Maybe she was able to cut the shadow and the cardstock all at once, but she was able to cut both R's at the same time. 2 sets, if you can afford it, is so much easier to have. It's not a need, it's a want, but it's a $10 want, which really kind of moves it into a need category, because really, what do you get for $10 these days? I went to McDonald's with my kids. We don't go to McDonald's very often. Really, we don't. It's not for me. But you can't even get like a hamburger and a fry for $10 anymore. Oh my gosh, for that, send me to the grocery store. I can do much better at a grocery store for $10. Way better. So anyway, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Where are you going to find these products? Well, they are on a flash sale here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. You may be able to find them full price other places, and you may be able to get the paper, the botanical paper and the botanical printed paper pad at other places. And if you can get them from an independent little mom and pop shop, please shop there. Otherwise, then shop online, and we appreciate your support and you shopping with us, but we understand you have oodles of choices. So shop where you're most comfortable and where it brings you joy, where you find your joy. And if you were looking for that Tim Holtz product, well, his Christmas has released. It's already online. If you read the little blurb or watch the YouTube, you know how to get expedited shipping, and you know the only reason we're able to do the expedited shipping on those items is because we have Ellison elves. Bless their pea-picking heart. So, me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Thanks for being with me today. I know it was a lot. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.